My name's Gary Booth and I work for a charity called Hope for Justice, which is an anti-slavery and human trafficking charity. Modern day slavery is quite simply where somebody's liberty has been taken from them, where they're controlled and where they have actually no rights other than working for a slave master. Human trafficking is slightly different, and that's sort of broken into three elements. The first part is the act. It's how somebody is trafficked, so it's where they are taken, transported, where they're kept. It's then the reason why. Now that could be for exploitation, such as forced labour, sexual exploitation, or domestic servitude, which is modern day Cinderella. And it's how it's done, and it's usually by either force, by threats of violence, or by coercion, deception. Over the past year, my team have rescued over 100 slaves. For me personally, the one which sticks out the most was the first rescue I was involved with. He was a Slovakian guy. He was roughly my age, in his 50s, but he looked in his 70s. He had been enslaved for 13 years, and for that he was forced to work 6 days a week, work 10-hour days on a building site, and he was paid £20 a week. And sort of bringing that home to me, my son, who was at the time 15, was earning more doing a paper round. And in that 13 years, the only thing which he got was a lung infection, because he had been working on a demolition site, exposed to asbestos, and that then subsequently got diagnosed as being asbestosis, and that's going to shorten his life. So that was a guy who all he wanted to do was work, but actually all that happened was he was exploited. Modern slavery, I think in many minds, it's still confined to the history books. What people don't understand is that it's alive now, and actually there are more slaves globally than any time in the history of the planet. There are over 30 million slaves worldwide. There is a lot of work to do around education. I think that's got to start significantly with people with power and responsibility, namely the governments. It's then around law enforcement agencies, those support agencies actually setting their plans, their strategies. And then I think it's for the general public to have that understanding and actually to turn their back to slavery. Our charity, Hope for Justice, has got a very simple vision, and that is to see an end to slavery in our generation, so in our lifetime. Is that possible? I think it is possible. It's a challenge, and it may be at this moment in time an aspiration. However, if everybody, the public, authorities and the governments globally can take a positive stance, they then can eradicate it. Victims who are vulnerable will need support. The slave masters, the human traffickers, they do it for one reason, and that's greed. They see a human being as a commodity to exploit. And I think if they can be tackled robustly, then yeah, there is every likelihood that there can be an end to slavery.